So, this is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Pretty big mouthful. So what is it? Well, it's the latest game by Ryuga Gotoku Studio. I think I said that completely badly, but yeah, it's the guys who do all the Yakuza games, essentially. And this is a sequel to the Like a Dragon series they're doing, which I believe are in themselves spin-offs of Yakuza. And this is, I believe, the third or fourth in the line of the Like a Dragon series. Now, full disclosure, I haven't played any of the Like a Dragon games. My history of Yakuza is simply Yakuza 6 on the PS3, and I played Judgment, which I really enjoyed. Now, the reason I went and bought this game was the main thing of it being about pirates. I'm really into pirates right now. I think pirates are really cool. I'm reading One Piece, for example, right? So I'm quite into them. Seeing a game come out regarding pirates, I'm all for that. I'm down to play that, and I was really looking forward to this. And as I said, I've had no prior experience with the Like a Dragon games. This is really my first dip into it. And I gotta say, I'm both happy and also a bit disappointed, and unfortunately the bit I'm more disappointed in is actually the pirate stuff in of itself, which I will get into when we'll start looking at like the gameplay and all things like that. So first things first, before we jump in, I want to pop into the settings to check them out, and I'll say that it is pretty damn extensive. First of all, I just want to say this is a pretty good PC port. It's a shame that has to be like a real big compliment, but it is what it is. It's a good PC port. It's run really well for me. I've had no performance issues. I've had no crashes. And honestly, I can only think of one bug at the top of my head, which was like a problem with the AI, where when you board the ship, sometimes one of the AI will just walk as if normal instead of fighting. That's it. I can't think of anything else that was a problem for this. So, in regards to these settings here, there's so much customizations to do. So, automatic QTEs, if you just can't be fucked for them, you can just make them automatic if you want. Rapid button press, if you're not a fan of that, you can make it so that it's hold instead. You can swap the left and right stick. You can make it so it's always sprint in battle. I would recommend to turn this on because sprinting is pretty important. There's a lot you can do while you're sprinting, and it's really annoying when you start a battle off walking and you have to try and build up your momentum to quickly run, and it could throw you off a bit. So yeah, I put on always sprint because I just felt it just was better for me with the combat. Screen center dot display, didn't think that was important. Wave movement is just whether or not the sway motion of the waves is bad or for you or whatever, but it's fine. I've turned vibration off. I am using a controller, by the way, because these are the type of games I enjoy playing controller with. Auto camera is off, camera shake settings on. Then you've got some camera controls here, first person controls. You've got your sensitivity, you can display the mini map or not. You can have the orientation change. You can have controlled guides displayed. You can skip movie button, skip display. I've turned that off because it was really annoying. It's constantly in the bottom right, so I've made sure to turn that off because it was just really bugging me. Cutscene quality, obviously I've set it to high. Subtitles are put on. You can also change the size of the subtitles, which is always nice. And you can even change the subtitle color, although I don't know. I don't feel like any of these colors are really good except green maybe, but white is just kind of the standard for me. Speaker names in the subtitles, I've turned that off because I really know who's talking, but, you know, there just in case. And then you can also do the subtitle background if you are struggling to read it. And you can also subtitle skip display as well. Conversation window text size. Conversation window background. There's like here, like there's just so much customized. Blood level, you can turn it to mild if you're not into that. UI display all, button display automatic. Yeah, there's just so much to customize. It's really good. Now we go to display settings here. Really not a lot to talk about. Is that, does your monitor support HDR? Yes or no? Brightness level. That's it. That's all it is. Graphics settings though is where we're actually looking more into it. So we've got our graphics card being displayed here. Choice display mode, full screen, borderless or windowed. Resolution, I've got mine at 1440p. Refresh rate is currently locked off because I've turned off VSync, but you can turn that off if you so desire. FPS, I've set it unlimited, but you can lock that if you're having some performance issues. Field of view, don't think it's too important because it's a third-person game, so I'm not really fussed on that one, but it's always nice to have an FPS slider. Sorry, FOV slider. Quality, graphics preset, I've put to the highest settings, and again, I've been running at about 120 odd FPS, 130, no issues, so that's really good. Go further into that, detailed, not a lot here. In fact, it's actually these settings are actually the least compared to everything else, but yeah, you got texture filter in, shadow quality, geometry quality, real-time reflections, reflection quality, motion blur, which I did turn off, but I think I must have forgot to save that. SSAO, anti-aliasing, depth of field, really not a lot here. It's very basic, but there's that, and you can also have some performance improvement in regards to upscaling. This does support up to AMD FSR 3 and also has Intel XeSS. I'm unsure if this has DLSS. I'm assuming potentially that I'm not seeing it because I've got an AMD card. But you can also activate frame generation, low latency mode, and you can also change the render scaling again if you're having any issues with the game. So there's a lot there for you. But again, I'm glad that I'm looking at a game that has the upscaling options. I don't feel like I need it at all. It's nice that I don't feel like this game is having it as a crutch. Audio settings, you've got 4 audio sliders for massive volume, background music, sound effects, voices, and cutscenes. You've got incoming message settings, so these are just like the tones when a message comes through the mobile phone in the game. Your speaker setup, which is very interesting because you can even change where it comes from, which is really nice. And you can also have it automatically mute when you minimize the game. But a key configuration. Now, this is something I actually really love, mainly because I'm somebody that keeps saying that I believe that controller mapping should also be a thing in games. I love it when a game allows you to map your controllers instead of just only the keyboard, and this game has it in spades. So not only are you able to just customize, for example, adventure, battle, at sea, like look how many options there are to customize. It's not just one particular thing, it is everything. Everything the game has to offer, you can customize every little bit, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely adore this. That is so good. I'm happy enough that it had controller remapping, but I'm even happier at the fact that it has it for all these particular things, and I think that's absolutely brilliant, and I give them absolute props for that. It is also the same for keyboard and mouse as standard. You know, it would be really stupid if you were able to customize your controller but not your keyboard, but yeah, you can customize your controller, which I think is brilliant. Display language then, yeah, you know, usual stuff, and then your audio language, so that's just the standard stuff. Everything is in English. Now, anything else of note to talk about? Purchase downloadable content, that's just cosmetic at the moment. There's not a lot really to it, but there's probably going to be DLC later on down the line. Multiplayer minigames, I think this is kind of cool, with the fact that these are some old games that you can play throughout the game, but you have the option to just play it here and there, and it's local co-op. So if you have a buddy around and you feel like playing some old games, then you can put one of these up if you want. It's just nice to see some local co-op, you know? It's good to see these things. So as you can see, this game does have New Game Plus. I am currently about 13 hours into the game at the moment, at the time of recording, and I feel like I've gathered enough to justify going to a first impressions of these games. So I'll press continue. Full autosave and loads of save slots, no problems with the saving at all in this game. It's really well done. So we're going to go here because this is my latest save, and we're going to go to the Colosseum, Pirate Colosseum. So as I was saying, yeah, this game, in terms of performance and everything, really well done. Very fast load times. Here is the Mad Colosseum. It is absolutely mental. It looks very colourful and very engaging. One thing you're going to notice about this game is it's so silly. This game is unbelievably silly. Oh, and I'm getting attacked immediately by someone. There you go. It's hard to really talk about the combat there because these are like kind of fodder enemies. So kind of an annoying thing about traversing around by foot is that any of those enemies will just automatically attack you. You have no choice, you have to fight them. But when you get to a high enough level, you're going to end up killing them almost immediately, so they're just kind of in the way, and they don't give enough resources either. So they just become a bit more of a nuisance. In case you want to know who's following me, this adorable little guy is Goro, the tiger. I've customized him with a nice little pirate hat. And then that's Noah, the kid that follows you. And there's also this weird thing that goes on here when you walk in front of Goro. Really strange. I don't know why it does that. I think it's the same with Noah as well. You can push Noah in the same way, where he like kind of just floats about. I don't know. Very weird. So, the thing about this game is that it's a pirate game, but it's set in modern times. This is all set in 2024. As you can see, they've just been caught and I have to fight these guys again. This is a bit more of a tougher enemy because he's got a higher health bar. I'll have a quick talk about the combat here. So right now I'm in pirate mode. So this pirate mode is more for group engagements, which you saw earlier. Now, I'm going to swap to my other mode then, pressing down the D-pad. This is my singular mode, so this is dedicated to fighting a particular character. As you can see, very fast attacks here. Whereas if I go into this mode, I can grapple this guy, but he dodged. I can also shoot him. Didn't dodge that. I can also throw my cutlasses. And then I can switch on the fly. It's very fluid. And this I can counter. So all you have to do there is just dodge that attack, press circle, and you've dodged that and counter. And yeah, he's giving me something. Nice. Nice little butterfly. Right, okay, so what I want to do, because this I feel is going to be the most important part, I'm going to show you the actual ship combat and everything. So we're going to enter the Colosseum here. Now, it's really unfortunate, but this is actually where I think this is the weakest part of the game. It's actually the pirate stuff, which is really annoying. So I'm going to show you some of these now. So this is, I believe this is the shipboarding one. This is where you fight multiple. This is like an actual tournament. Now, just full disclosure, I'm not going to play any main campaign, so there shouldn't be any story spoilers whatsoever. Any story stuff that I will do will be purely side quest related or just extra stuff. So you won't need to worry about any story spoilers. So yes, I'm 13 hours into the game, but there won't be any story spoilers for this video. So we're going to do this. It's only one star. It's going to give me 2,400. So this would be a good time to start looking into this. So you can check your crew formation here. So this is something that you can do in the game where you can actually recruit people. And they have all these levels, and at the moment they're all really happy, except this guy is only partially happy. But you can see like some are more higher level than others. That's because I've only just started recruiting these guys. I know this guy is from the previous Like a Dragon game. But yeah, so the idea is you start recruiting all these people, you start leveling up, and the higher the level they are, the higher their stats will be in regards to where they're assigned. So as you can see, I've got 2 cannons and machine gun, and their total value of damage comes down to the people that are on it. So right now, because I've got a lot of low levels on here, my damage isn't amazing, but the ships are so low level that it's been quite easy to destroy anyway. And then this is my boarding party, so these are the guys that will come on with me when I board a ship, and they will fight alongside me. So they're significantly a lot higher. These guys over here, these are the support characters, so these actually don't join you in combat whatsoever, but they give you some form of benefit when you press up on the D-pad. So Noah gives me extra gradual restores health of all allies on the boat. Goro boosts everyone's attack, and Nancy-chan greatly boosts everyone's attack. So these are all just purely support based. This is a first mate where he will be able to give you traits for the ship itself. So I've picked him because he does greater damage to enemy sterns. And then we've got our squad leaders here. So Jason, he's able to boost attack and defense, and then Swordsman Kingoro can greatly boost attack. So I've made them to the squad leaders because of those effects. Some people don't have those effects because they're just too low level, and others do, but you know, sometimes you may think these are better, so I've gone for them. So yeah, the actual crew bit's actually quite fun. It's quite entertaining to recruit people because you have different requirements and all things like that, but and then you can see from their stats of how they play out on your crew. So we'll join a combat now. This looks very Street Fighter 6 in my eyes. Like exactly how Street Fighter 6 starts. So here's the Pirate Colosseum. So we're fighting each other with the boat, and this is my current ship. Looks not too bad. Now, there's a few ways you can combat in this. Now, first of all, you've got a machine gun at the front. Now, mine is kitted with like these ice bullets, so they can actually freeze people. But now I'm not on range, so I'm not actually doing any damage. So he's about to shoot me, so I can actually boost out the way. Because, yeah, your ship can boost, and it can also drift. Yeah, it's really dumb. You also want to know what else is really dumb? Yeah. I just fired laser cannons. I have lasers on the side of my ship. It is so dumb, and I absolutely love it. I love the fact these boats can speed boost. I love that you can drift. It's really stupid that I have an ice machine gun and laser cannons. It's so dumb. It's great. But my problem is, it's very basic. Look at this, right? So to fire this cannon, it requires no aiming. It's auto-locked on for me. So I don't have to aim or nothing. All I do is press R2. And that's it. I find that to be really, really basic. I do not like how standard it is. There's not a lot of thought that goes into it. It's literally just go to the side of enemy and press R2, L2, depending where they are. It's all automatic. The only thing you have to really aim is the machine gun, but even then you're only using it to engage. Most of the time you're using the cannon. So this is the boarding sequence. As I said, it's broken up within a cutscene. So your goal in this boarding sequence is you want to try and defeat the captain, which I did there. I'm going to... Actually, a good time to start playing with the pirate mode, because this is more focused on the... Yeah, see? See what I mean with the... Sometimes with the AI, that they just decide to just walk instead of actually fight, which is really strange. Like, he completely ignored everyone there. Mundane pirates, I'll skip this one. There's other things you can do as well. It's not just that. Like, for example, you can press down on the D-pad, you can go into deck mode. Now, this is designed for that if a crewmate goes down, you can revive them. You also do have an RPG. It's too far away. Can I fire that from here? I won't hit with it. Oh, that hit. Oh, wow. That's actually hitting. I didn't actually expect this to hit. But yeah, this is really the deck mode. Again, it's mostly for when... you've got crewmates that are down. But, you know, other than that. Also, the other thing as well is about how the ship feels. It does feel quite floaty. It feels more like a car than a boat, in all honesty. And then we're just going to go on and kill all these people. There's another thing as well. We've got like 2 meters up. We've also got like a burn meter, which is the blue. You see the triangle. So certain requirements will happen. You press triangle and you'll do like a move that'll kill a certain amount of enemies. This is my team up with my chef. As you see, it's pretty goofy. And there's also, if I press R2, I get these doppelgangers. It's like an ultimate mode. Hold triangle, I've got a special move there that I bought. I can also hold circle to do like a spin move. A tornado. Boom. They're quite easy, I'm quite overpowered right now. And there's our victory screen. And there's my crew. Yeah, this game really does not take itself seriously. I do like that, by the way. I like the fact the game doesn't take itself seriously. However, I do think there are issues. And again, the main thing for me is the ship combat. I think the ship combat's actually quite lame. I don't know if I should just do... let's do another quick clash. Let's do another one here. Because we can also start... I can start leveling up my crewmates. So this is my biggest problem is, like, you look at something like Black Flag or Sea of Thieves where it feels like it's more intuitive. There's like, they've thought about how the ship would work and designed and how the player would be engaged with it. Like, for example, like in Black Flag, I would be aiming with L2 to try and aim the cannons and try to, you know, figure out the distance and all things like that. But here, I'm just waiting for the reticle to pop up and then I just press R2. Okay, so now I just turn. And then I press L2. Like, cool. This is super engaging. And I'm just running into him. I'll freeze him. And then I'll press L2. Yeah. Now, surprisingly, despite me playing this game for about 13 hours, I actually haven't had as much ship combat time because a lot of it is based on land. And even then, I can see myself getting bored with the ship combat. It's very stale. And you could say, or make the argument, well, maybe it's because right now the enemy's too low level, they're too easy. But it's also like, I just don't see how I would end up enjoying it when it's harder, because it doesn't improve the gameplay. The problem's still there. I'm still in a problem where it's too difficult. Like, it's too mundane, sorry. That the cannons, how the cannons work and how the ship moves and stuff, it's all just very basic. But yeah, that's most of it for the ship combat, really. And as you said, you level up your crewmates and all things like that. Getting more powerful they are, the more damage they do. All that jazz. So that's really the Pirate Coliseum. Again, this is just really just a boarding thing, and I think the boarding is just as uninteresting as the ship combat itself, so I'm not even going to bother with it for the video. But yeah, I would say I do enjoy this game. I just want to point out, I know I've been quite critical of this so far. I do enjoy this game, but I do think the pirate side of things is the weakest part. I think the ship part is the worst bit of the game, which is the bit that I actually wanted to enjoy the most. Now, one thing to point out here is that you can, as I said, recruit crewmates. So like here, we can recruit a crewmate here, but they all have their particular requirements. So I need to beat the Grey Pirates here. I need to beat the Tiger Pirates, so I haven't done either of them, so can't do that. I gotta give $500 in a bouquet of flowers for Elena. Clear beginner mania. So as you can see, yeah, give $1,000. So they all have their own distinct ways of being recruited. So we can go and recruit actually these two over here. So we'll do that while we're at it. We'll go and recruit these guys. Yeah, this is kind of like the seedy underbelly of the world. So a lot of the people here are not dressed like friendly people. Hey, look, you got bunny girls, of course. Right, so this is Thrifty Lady Pirate. So they'll all have like kind of their stories, they'll have reasons where they're at and all things like that. So it's not just a simple go over, recruit, done. You know, you get a bit of back and forth with them, you learn a little bit about the person. $500. So, pansy bouquet, which I've got one. And there we go. Now I've recruited her. And as you can see, they always start the lowest level. Some will pop up with the first mate trait, some will pop up with squad leader trait, but most of the time they will just pop up as fodder. Oh, I was immediately caught. As you can see, it can be a little bit annoying at times where you're just trying to get about your day and then they'll fight you, but then you just immediately kill them, so it's kind of pointless. There are mini-games, of course, because this is a Yakuza game, so we've got poker here, which is just generic poker, and you've got blackjack, which I don't find very interesting because, you know, that's just something you'll see every day. This one over here, though, is a pretty fun mini-game. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, I can also take a picture here. It's just another side quest thing. So, I believe I've got a majority of the rewards I have. So, these treasure chests are quite important to get because that's how you're going to get the gear in the game. And the gear is mostly your... while I'm here, I might as well talk about it. So this is going to be the ring system. So the ring system I actually think is kind of cool. So each ring gives you some form of buff. So for example, this ring here gives me 50 attack and 100 defense. This ring gives me 80 defense, 60 bullet defense. This gives me 80 defense, right? So it's all focused on attack and defense and all that sort. Now, what makes it kind of interesting is the fact that some rings can only be applied to a particular finger, which means that there are times when you're going to have to kind of think about what you put on to be like, well, I could have this ring on, but maybe this ring, because it only goes here, that can give you this particular buff. So there's a bit of thought that goes into this. I do really like the system. I also do like the fact that you are able to see this, like it's on your character model, and you also see in the cutscenes. I kind of like when you have those kind of upgrades and you can visually see it. I think that's neat. And as you can see here, the equipment effect, I get my overall stats. So I've got 660 attack, 690 defense, 110 bullet defense, and 110 blade defense, which is, I think, pretty balanced stats. And these rings will all provide it. And as you progress through the game, so as I said, you can find them in treasure chests. Those are normally the more powerful rings. You can also buy rings, but they're often not as good. They're often way weaker. I just want to show you the Bang Bang one because I think this is actually one of the most fun. This is one of the more fun minigames. I think I'll just do an intermediate just to show you. I'll put on an expert bat because I'm pretty confident on this. So yeah, this is what I kind of like about this game is that there's just some absolutely crazy minigames. Also, I've just shown myself up already by trying to act cocky. Let's do that again. Boom. There's that gone. Yeah, the aim of the game is just you play baseball, you're aiming for the red barrels, and you've got to make sure you try to hit that ball as accurately as possible, because as you saw earlier, you don't, that ball's going to go flying elsewhere, which isn't good. And then, final bit, you unlock the treasure chest. So as I said, I've got 4 stages, so just play this for a bit while waiting. And nope. It's got a little feature with this here, these little missiles, to show that it's going to take out the whole side of the barrels. Boom! I said you can build up a lot of points from doing this then. So at the moment, because I'm playing on like a more lower difficulty, the most I can get here is 6,000. But the higher difficulties you can get more, but you can also get like particular bats. Like here I've got like, this is like the hardest bat, so it gives me the most multiplayer. I don't know what makes it hard. It just, the game said it's a difficult bat. Aim for this now. Boom! And final stage, now this is what I can do here. I can do a special swing. And this special swing is going to just kill everything. Plus it also allows me just, it tells me, hey look, press X now. And there we go. And I'll destroy everything in one go. That's why the special swing is nice to use at the end. So I'll quit that. Again, there's a lot of minigames. This is a Yakuza game. There are so many minigames to play. Yes, by the way, karaoke is in the game. Of course it is. I just thought this was one of the more fun ones. Just to also point out as well, when you exchange, sometimes you can also exchange for crewmates. There are other minigames and other side quests that will allow you to exchange points for crewmates. And I'm going to assume that these guys are going to be quite strong. So, you know, for example, this guy's going to cost 60,000, this guy's going to cost 90,000. So, you know, bit of grinding on this, and I should be able to get these. But I won't do that for the time being. But that would be something I'll be looking to do to see if they're, how much more powerful they are compared to my other guys. Right. There's also, like, these bits here. It's just something nice to, like, do while you're running about. You don't always have to run about, but it's just picking up all these, like, little knickknacks here and there, and they just give you, like, some random rewards. They do respawn and everything as well, so they're not collectibles. They're not something you're going to have to worry about missing. So let's head over to our ship.
Hard at work, Captain?
Good to see you, Captain. Good work out there.
It's time to set sail. Okay. apologies about that. I'm going to end up cutting that out in the video. So basically, a main story cutscene played as soon as I left, and I was debating whether or not I was actually going to leave it in the video, but I felt there was a pretty significant story beat that happened, so I'm going to cut it entirely, so I'm not going to show it. But one thing I will say that is a complaint of mine as well with this is there's a lot of that happening where you're just, it's almost like you're kidnapped. Like, you want to go and do something, no, the game's decided now you have to watch this cutscene. And sometimes these cutscenes are pretty lengthy. Like, these can go on for about 10 minutes or so. You know, I'm not talking about Metal Gear Solid level cutscene length, but some of these are quite long, and there's a lot of dialogue to sift through. Now, it's not entirely bad, mostly because I actually do think the story's pretty intriguing, and I like the characters. For example, the captain, I think the captain is a lot of fun to play as. I think all the characters are actually really good. Hell, the kid, Noah, is not even annoying. I actually quite like Noah. So I'm giving props to that. I feel it's a bit of a snore fest that we've once again got a... We've got a generic main character has amnesia thing. I'm not a big fan of that because I think it's just really lame. But... that's weird. Sometimes it doesn't seem to fully register the laser sometimes. I just want to ram into this. Or ram into him. And then we're going to fire these cannons here. Boost away from that. So we dodge that attack, and then boom, they're gone. Yeah, as I said, the ship combat's extremely basic. You're probably wondering as well what this is about. These are just like, you know, a very video game. Oh, there's a whale. These are like very stereotypical video game rings that make you go super fast. That's it. Nothing special to them. Now, one aspect of a pirate game, in my opinion, is sailing the seas, right? Sailing the seas is a lot of fun. You want to be a pirate, you want to travel the whole ocean. Well, here's an issue I have. You don't have an open ocean in this game. Instead, you have linear areas like these. So you can see where these X's are. These are invisible walls. You can't go past them. If I want to travel to a new location, instead of manually riding my ship to that location, the only way I can get from, say, Atlantis to somewhere else is by fast travel. And it feels extremely segmented. And I gotta be honest, I am not a fan of the Slayers. I think it's a bit lame, to be honest, that, you know, you've got the open ocean here and it's segregated by narrow levels. I would like to be able to explore the seas. I would like to be able to travel to different islands and feel like I'm actually, you know, riding a ship rather than this just being a simple vessel for get to next level, which is essentially what this pirate ship feels like. Again, the thing is, right, it's not bad, right? It doesn't control bad. It's not an awful pirate ship to control. It's just boring. It's just basic. There's nothing really to it compared to other pirate games. Like, if I want a really fun, you know, ship combat and stuff, I would play something like Sea of Thieves, or I would play something like Black Flag, which I feel did these a lot better. And I think that's another thing as well. It's just the fact that this game doesn't really do anything different. Like, obviously the drift and the speed boost is something a bit different, and it's quite quirky for the game, but, you know, it's not anything that you would write home about, like, oh, right, this is the best part of the whole game. Look, oh no, I'm surrounded. Oh, let me just fire in front of me. Miss all my shots because I'm bad, and then I press R2, and then that ship dies. I don't even have to look at the ship. I'll crash into you and blow you up. Look, see, it died. Then drift, and then press L2, dead. See, and that's the other thing as well. The fact I don't even have to look at a ship and I can just destroy it because it's just all automated. And you get like all these like special stuff as well. Now I'm heading over to the island over here because I want to show the fast travel. There is this treasure island bit here, but I didn't want to go there because this was where the game was kind of telling me to go initially for the story, and I'm worried that that's going to bring more main story stuff. So I'm just going to pile it away for now and go this way. And as I said, it's quite arcadey. You got like all these little items in the world. There's a little whirlpool there you can end up getting destroyed in. There are storms that happen, like lightning and stuff, which is actually quite fun to navigate, to be honest, but it only really happened once, and I haven't seen it since, which is a bit disappointing. I did like it when it had tornadoes and lightning storms and stuff. It was actually making the journey kind of fun. But, as I said, for the most part, I've mostly been dealing with more calmer waters. So these lighthouses here that you can see in green, these are going to be your fast travel points. And each of these fast travel points will have two particular ships. One of them is going to be a merchant ship where you can just buy ship from. And another one's going to be like a trader ship. So they're going to have like a problem and you can exchange certain items for something else. So this, I think, is the problem ship. Yeah, so he forgot to buy 15 components. He's got 5 quality components. So I'm going to trade. So I've got 212. So yeah, I'm going to exchange that. Quality components, which are used for crafting for the ship. So now I'm going to head over to the lighthouse. And we're going to aim to go to the main, what I consider at the moment the main island, which is Hawaii. Now, as you can see here, this is how you travel from island to island. You have to fast travel with the system, and as you can see, a lot of these are really small. They are very small levels with not a lot of room to explore. And I, again, not a fan of this. I'm not going to lie. So I want to head over to Hawaii. So I said this has like the most to it in regards to the island. So we're going to fast travel over to Hawaii again. Not sail. We're going to fast travel. Because why would I want to sail a boat, you know? It's a bit of a shame. I am being super negative right now in regard to the pirate thing, because this is the bit that I was the most looking forward to. And this is where it's going to kind of, I feel, fracture certain players. So, really, this is a Yakuza game through and through. This is a Yakuza game with a pirate coat of paint. Now, if you're somebody who's into Yakuza, you're going to love this game, right? This is going to be a game you're going to love. It's just standard Yakuza. You got really good combat, because I said the ground combat is a lot of fun. It's really good. Really enjoy the ground combat. There's a lot of mini games to play around with. I'll kill these guys. Oh, I thought I was going to juggle him. Boom. There's a lot to do. This game is going to provide you hours of content. I mean, look at Hawaii, right? Look at all these to explore. I've got side quests, there are mini games, there are shops, there are pirates to recruit, these bounty systems that I'll show you now, actually, because actually I haven't showed you the bounty system yet. So I'll just mark that on the map. So I'll just go over here, and then I'm going to pop this bad boy out. My little scooter, which is also great. I love this thing. I also love the fact you can press R2 to just auto-cruise. There's also apparently a feature. If I wave at him, I'm now friends with them. It's a weird system where you have this whole, where is it? The social media, and when you wave at people, you become insta friends with them, and certain people required to recruit need you to have a certain amount of friends. I've got 32 friends and 1 buddy. The buddy is essentially when you've maxed out the friendship meter, essentially. And obviously, as you can see here, there are a lot of people to make friends with. Now, a lot of these are just random civilians that'll pop up in the street, and you just have to bump into them randomly. I don't know how tedious that's going to be in the future when trying to, like, potentially if you're somebody who wants to collect them all. But, because there's no way of knowing where they are. They are just randomly walking about in the street. So yeah, that's a whole system in this game. Again, I don't know if this was in the other games. This is just, for me, this is new. Like here. So another one, so you can also be friends with animals. And you do this by giving them like pet food. So there I've become friends with Berry, the dog. And you can also become friends with shopkeepers by buying their products as well. So those are like the 3 main ways to become friends with people in this game. So it's not all the same. I said, this thing is hilarious. I love this. Again, the part I love about this game is the lack of seriousness of it. I do enjoy that it really is not taking itself seriously at all. It is a lot of fun in that regard. I just wish they did a bit more with the pirate side of things, is more where I'm getting at. I just want to make it clear that I'm not mad at the setting or mad at the way the game's handled. I like Goofy. I like the fact that it's goofy and fun. I'm gonna go after this guy. So this is a bounty system. So the guys with the handcuffs, so there, it's going to show you the difficulty, which is 4 stars, or 4 fists, and then the award for it. So obviously the harder the bounty is considered, the more money you get from it. And this is like one of the main ways to get a good amount of money other than the Pirate Coliseum. So all this is just like mini boss fights. Oh. This guy looks a bit like Smee, actually, from Peter Pan. There you go. I really like the combat. As you see there, it's really fast, the solo mode. I love it. And then you got the counter system, which I really like. There you go. Quite easy. And as I said, the pirate one is more for group, which is why I wasn't using it during that fight. So there you go. Once you defeat them, you just get the cash. Target confirmed. And that's it. So again, it's really just like little mini bosses to fight around the map. So to talk about with the combat then, as we're on the subject of that, so we've also got this upgrade system. So it's not like a natural progression in regards to your upgrades other than obtaining the pirate gear. It's all about getting points and getting money. So this is where the money side comes into it. So obviously you can buy like items and clothes and stuff like that, but mainly you want to be buying it for your upgrades. Now, I'm a bit one of two minds on these type of systems. They're also in games that I absolutely adore, like Devil May Cry, but I also don't think... I think they're kind of flawed, mainly because of its requirement to have money and points and not something to be more fluid. It means that there are times where certain aspects of the gameplay feels a bit stuck because of it, in terms of, like, it just feels bland. So, for example, the Sea Dog mode, right? The pirate mode. Now, when I initially unlocked this, the only move I had was the heave-ho move, the one to throw the cutlasses. That's all I had. And that was it. And the move, and this sucked. The pirate mode sucked to the point where I barely used it because I absolutely hated it. And it really didn't get going until I was buying these upgrades. And when I started buying these upgrades, now I'm starting to enjoy it. But it's annoying that it had to take a while for me to get into that kind of character. Like, I like throwing this and then using the gun, boom, like that. I also have the grappling hook as well. I haven't used the grappling hook. Maybe if I find a group of enemies, I'll use it. The grapple hook's quite fun. It's quite limited, because, like, if I hold L2, you see this, like, glowing items here. These are, like, items to cook. You can't use them on people, though. Like, I can't shoot them at an enemy or anything like that, so I don't have full... I have full control. But it is fun. It is fun to be a gap closer.
Pain in the ass.
So that says, yeah, so you got bounties, these blue things, these are all side quests. So often side quests will lead to you recruiting somebody, or you'll just get some form of special item, I guess. We've also got Julie's Gearworks over here, which is a form of upgrading your pirate ship. Now, the upgrades themselves... Oh. That person just disappeared. I tried to friend her and she just vanished out of thin air. I think I must have already done him because I can't do him again. I said it's weird the fact that you have to randomly find them on the street. Again, if you're trying to be a completionist, I wonder how annoying that's going to end up being. So I'll go to Julie's Gearworks. Do I have any upgrades? I can upgrade a super laser cannon over the laser cannon. That sounds pretty good to me. And that's a longer range. 2,000 cannon power as well. That's really strong. Yeah, let's do it. Let's craft these. And I can upgrade them on my ship now. Fantastic. So when I'm next on my ship, I can put them on. So yeah, again, not too much on the ship upgrade. That's really it. You go to where you buy particular upgrades. For now, they're not massive. She doesn't seem to have a bar. I don't know why she doesn't have a bar. We could do a side quest. Just have a quick demonstration of this. And then potentially get some closing thoughts on this game. As you can see, as I said, you get this a lot. Kind of just mind your own business, and then you got enemies that will just fight you. I'll just pop up this. I do like a lot of the traveling system. Like, you've got this where I can press now R2 and just talk while I'm letting this guy do his thing. You've also got taxi systems that are very quick and easy. It's the map's big. Sadly, this is bigger than the bloody ocean, but the fast travel does work really well, so it's never tedious to travel around this place. I can completely go at whatever pace I want, which I think is really well done. Where is it? Where's this side quest? Oh, I know this one. This is about helping this the girl out. This shouldn't really count as a spoiler, because it's a side quest. This happens a lot, by the way. So Hawaii seems like a really shithole place to go into this game. There are so many instances, like almost every side quest, there is just a group of dickheads that always try to start fights, like all the time. But yes, one of the main features is that a lot of these people doing side quests are either former pirates or former criminals, or some way that at some point at the end of the side quest you're going to recruit them. As I said, the side quests can range from kind of normal to really fucking goofy.
Are you kidding?
And this guy's very confused. Basically, to sum up this one, she's pretending that she's like a Japanese aficionado. He's a weeaboo, essentially. But actually, she's a former pirate, but she fancies this guy, so she's faking what she is. Now, one thing I will say with this game as well, because of how goofy it is, I'm laughing a lot in this game, but good reasons. I'm laughing when the game wants me to laugh and stuff like that. I'm not laughing at it, I'm laughing with it, and the game is generally quite funny. Bonk. Like I said, that's what the Yakuza games are known for. They're known for being goofy fun.
Are you kidding?
And this definitely holds up on that. Gonna bring up the pirates one again because I'm enjoying it more using it. And then I'll use the heat mode. Finish these two off. Oh, I was worried for a second. I thought the game froze. I was like, great. Of course, when I said I had no problems, the game froze. Oh, look at that. True love. There we go. I got a silver ring.
It's a pleasure.
And I've got a recruit. There we go. So as I said, most of these will end up in those kind of same results. And that'll be the end of the sub-story. And there's quite a lot. I think I encountered a sub-story that was like 30. So I know there's at least 30 side quests to do. So it's got lengthy amounts to do. There's also these things over here. I'm not going to do it because I think they are quite tedious. Which is these. So if I press triangle now, you form a bomb with Noah. I've actually made this guy a buddy. You form a bomb with Noah over time, and there's about 30 of them. Something like that. And you get a reward once you fully bomb with him. But mostly all this is just they're talking about. But the problem is that if you're caught by enemies, for example, or like right now, if I tried to do it, I would have been disrupted there and then. And it doesn't tend to track properly of when the conversation last left off, so sometimes the conversation will just completely restart, even if it's like quite a fair amount of dialogue lines in. That's really annoying, so I often try not to use them as much. Got pet food in there. I'm making buddies everywhere now. I'm a very friendly guy. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else to really have note, but I think I've really covered most of the stuff this game does have to offer. Again, I'm a bit disappointed how Hawaii is so much bigger than when I go on the ocean and everything. A bit disappointed. I know some of the upgrade abilities we mentioned earlier, like, you got, like, basic attacks. I do like certain aspects of the different moves. I do enjoy when you do unlock them. It's just, again, I do feel like it is a flawed system, and I would even say that about a game that I really, really do enjoy, which is Devil May Cry, where it can hamper the experience a bit, but obviously I've got enough to start upgrading these things, but I won't do it for the time being. I'll do them probably after the video. And yeah, that's really a lot of it when it comes down to Yakuza Like a Dragon pirate game in Hawaii. Yes. That said, I think as a Yakuza game, it's really good. The combat is as good as ever. I like the fast change flow between a group stance with the pirate and then the singular stance with Majima. I think the in-game combat is really good. There's obviously, as I said, a lot of content to do, as you can see here. There's a lot of side quests, there's a lot of mini games. If you buy this game at full price, you're going to have yourself a lot to do. You're not going to be short on content here. The only problem I have, as you've probably gathered from most of this video, is I think as a pirate game, it's not amazing. And if you're somebody who's like me, who's come into this from the perspective of wanting a good pirate game, I feel you might be a bit disappointed. Whereas if you come into this looking for another Yakuza game, you're going to enjoy it. It's a really solid Yakuza game. But they are. And I think that's why it's kind of a bit cheating. That the foundations of the Yakuza titles are pretty solid now. They've got it locked in. They know what they're doing. So it feels a bit cheating to complement the game for that reason, because Yakuza has already established this. It's just that the thing they've now added additionally is the weakest part, which I think should be a form of criticism for the game, that the bit that they've added isn't that good, or doesn't at least feel like it had as much effort put into it as you would kind of hope it would. And that's ultimately where I'm more disappointed with. I still enjoy the game. I think the story's good, even though sometimes I feel the cutscenes can be intrusive. I think the combat, as I said, in-game combat is fine. on-foot combat is really good. But it's the pirate ship side of things. It's the pirate side that I think is actually the weakest bit, and that's the bit I'm the most disappointed with. Will I still play this game? Absolutely. Do I recommend this game at full price? Absolutely. There's a lot to it. It's still a really fun game. I'm just saying more perspective of, if you are purely looking at this as, ooh, a pirate game, I want to play a pirate game. I don't know. I don't think it's... There's a group of these guys here. I don't think it's as good. I think you might be quite disappointed with it. I can't even go there. Visible walled. Where should I go? It's a little cruise. Let's show off on a little cruise. Over people. But yeah. So that is Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Pirates in Hawaii. Do I recommend it? I do. I really do. It's a lot of fun. It has its weaknesses, but it's fun. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.